Okay, we need to create another small function. So to when we uncheck, so if they are selected when we use a create, so when they is selected when we uncheck, so they must be removed. And when we have created a user and we will update the user rights, so definitely it will work on that time. So we will also check. And before we need to create that function in our file. Okay, in when we are in a category displaying categories, here it is categories and the category name. So we will say uh, on click on click. We will create a function categories and we will access this this let's say dollar sign this with the ID of company ID, company ID. So when we click on this input categories, this function will be called and refers to this category input field, and we will getting this ID of this company ID of the company name, uh, company name, and let's close this here. Okay, here we will create a function, function categories. So this categories, okay, matched. And we will refer to e function, this function and the ID of this. If e dot e is checked, so we will refer to checked attribute. So if this e, and we will refer to this checkbox, and if it is its attribute, this element input and its attribute is checked. If this is checked, and here, yes, if it is checked, so if e dot is checked, then do nothing. Okay, then do nothing else. If it is unchecked, so what to do? We will do dollar and refer to our checkbox id id checkbox check checkbox underscore. Here we are referring to, where is the idea of checkbox? So we are referring to this UL ID. We have created checkbox and the company ID name here. So checkbox underscore this, and it will become this checkbox to hide. And we need to get this here. So this UL should be hide. Okay. Checkbox, and we will concatenate by plus operator in a JavaScript. So we'll give the ID. So checkbox underscore this ID should hide, and we use the hide function. So save it. Let's double check if E is checked, do nothing, and if it's unchecked, then checkbox underscore ID of that UL. So this UL should be hide, but checkbox underscore ID should be hide. Save it, refresh. So by default, it is not checked. See, so when we create a user and when it is checked, so when we select unchecked, so it will remove from here. So right now I cannot show you this function right now. When we create a user and assign delegate the rights, so we will see when this field is checked. Okay, so stay tuned.